Hello, everyone. My name is Pat Dillon. I'm the president and founder of Minnesota SBIR, MNSBIR for short. And as the president, I work with companies here in Minnesota to help them support their R&D and commercialization efforts. And I've been working in the SBIR and SCTR programs for more than 30 years. And so I've worked with a lot of firms, a lot of different technologies, a lot of startups and small businesses to help them navigate through the process of securing funding to bring their innovation to life. I also served as in the military and the United States Navy for a very long time, and I retired in 2017 at the rank of commander. And I served in both intelligence and aviation communities. And I also spent 10 months in Afghanistan in 2011 to 2012. So today's session, of course, is getting started and thinking about starting up your NeuroTech startup company. And my comments today are going to be from my perspective and having worked with a lot of companies over the years, and just some things that I've learned along the way and things that you might want to consider as you move down this pathway. So I always refer to this as taking the leap. And you want to make sure that entrepreneurship is right for you. It's not right for everyone. So if you're okay with uncertainty and risk, you certainly want to consider entrepreneurship. And in my mind, there's no better time than in today's environment to become an entrepreneur. Do you have the capacity, meaning the time, the money, and maybe the person or the energy to actually step in this arena? Because it will take up some fair amount of time and effort over a consistent period of time to bring your innovation to life. You want to have a realistic vision of the future and give yourself permission to have some setbacks, but keep moving forward. Keep your eye on the prize. You have a vision for this product or service that is going to help patients all over the world. So give yourself that vision and keep your eye on that opportunity that you know exists in the future. I always say that, people that have a deep level of curiosity is really important with any endeavor, even of course, in the sciences, but in business and marketing, financing, and so forth. All of these things that you're going to have to learn along the way to help bring your product to market and build your company. And having a level of curiosity, I think, is really important because there are going to be a lot of things that you won't know anything about or you need to know about in order to be successful. We all know that we have setbacks along the way, and I think being resilient is really important to really embrace the good times and also the bad times, because as one entrepreneur told me many years ago, there are good days or bright days and dark days. And so it's just sleep on it and get up the next morning and keep going. And lastly, are you ready for the journey? I think that when women are thinking about becoming entrepreneurs, they have a lot of other considerations to take into account. Family, a partner, maybe children, maybe aging parents. You really need to think about balancing all of those aspects of your life and staying true to what you want to do, but not letting it totally consume you, given all the other responsibilities that you have in your life. I think, being an entrepreneur is really fantastic. Of course, I've been working with entrepreneurs for a very long time, and I believe in the American dream. I've watched it in action every day and continue to watch it in action every day. So really think about making it as part of your future. And I always think about some of the people that I've met along the way who maybe didn't go down that path, but regret that they didn't do it, then they at least try to bring their idea to life. So when you're thinking about starting up your business, and really give it some deep thought and think about how you're going to balance the rest of your components of your life. And of course, when I started the nonprofit, I didn't want to look back and ask the question, well, what if? So I really came to the point where I basically said to myself, well, if I start this, it'll either work or it won't work, but at least I know I tried. And that is where you want to sort of get to the spot where you can accept whatever the outcome is, but at least try. And that's really the key point. Starting up a company is job number one, but the challenge is, of course, balancing it with all the other responsibilities and demands in your life. So just, really keep that front and center. And of course, non-dilutive funding capital is the best source of capital that you can secure for your company. And that big proponent of certainly using the SBIR and SCTR funding to help de-risk the technology along that pathway towards commercialization. And SBIR and SCTR funding is absolutely critical for so many aspects of your business and opportunities in the future. So as you well know, it takes a team to bring something to life, and you really need to have a combination of scientific expertise and business acumen, and really think strategically about everything that you're doing to support this startup. And at the end of the day, you have to have a product or a service that is going to meet the needs of a market opportunity that exists in your area of technology. So this is really important to keep some of these key factors in mind as you're moving down this path of starting and growing a company in the neuroscience space. We all know it takes a multidisciplinary team and approach to bring something to life and to have that commitment of ongoing learning. There isn't a day go by that I'm not learning something from one of our clients or a different technology or a different market need that exists. Seek out mentors. They can either be paid mentors or people that believe in what you're doing. Mentorship is really important, and it can take on many different forms. So surround yourself with people that you know and trust, and that you believe in what they have to say and share with you. Establish or get involved with your own neurotech community. And this is really important because there are going to be topics that come up during conversations that you'll want to engage with other people who may have already gone down that path before. In our case, there are people that I turn to get advice on different topics that are related to our work in not only managing a nonprofit, but dealing with some of the independent contractors that we use to support our mission. And as I said earlier, be resilient. It's so important to, accept what's happened, but then to move on. You are going to have setbacks, and you'll just have to find a way to move forward and keep your eye on the prize, because it's a major effort that you're trying to take something from the lab to the marketplace, and just be resilient. I think it's really important for entrepreneurs, especially in the neuroscience space, to be up to date on what's going on in their space. And you'll encounter other people, maybe investors or maybe collaborators and so forth, that is certainly going to be aware of the latest, and you need to do the same. You want to make sure that you obviously understand the market space and where the opportunity lies for your technology. The key thing that I think most entrepreneurs sometimes failed to do is really to understand the problem that they're trying to solve and how their solution is going to solve that problem. And the more that you can be clear about the problem that you're solving and how your technology is going to meet that need, I think the better off you're going to be, and it'll help you stay focused with your business. So of course, we want to stay focused, and if you have a niche product, you certainly want to be able to talk about what that top product is, whether it's a diagnostic tool, a therapeutic device, or maybe another innovative solution. Staying focused is really going to not only save you time and energy, but also money. You do not want to be distracted by other opportunities that might arise during the course of your business. You want to stay focused because you're actually probably in the process of engaging with investors who will also want to see you stay very focused on that problem and that solution. I can't say enough about researching the market. I think it's really important not only to do maybe some primary research or secondary market research, but you certainly want to do customer discovery early and often. There are many opportunities to engage with the National Science Foundation I-Corps program. Certainly the NIH is now very much involved with I-Corps as well. And if you're not familiar with the I-Corps, which is the Innovation Corps, I would encourage you to research that topic and get familiar with it. There's nothing more important than your customers and understanding what their pain points are and whether your solution is actually going to solve that pain point is very important as you start to go down this path. Assembling your team. Not only will you have your technical expertise, but you're also going to involve people that are in business or marketing or finance. You want to make sure you pick the right people that not only believe in your vision, but they want to support you in all your efforts. And one thing that I learned recently is that, if you want to make sure that you've got the right people on the bus, you want to start with what are their core values, and do those core values align with your core values? And this is so important to make sure that you have the right team in place for you and your business, because there's nothing more distracting than to have one person that is not a good fit. And this is distracting, and it takes up a lot of time and energy, and it takes you away from getting your goals, meeting your goals. So pick your people wisely. So begin the development of your NeuroTech product or solution. I mean, of course, if you've got the resources, the financial resources, or even the facilities and equipment to do so, you want to do some prototyping, maybe do some preliminary research, testing, or refining your technology. But you really want to take the time to at least get some information to support not only an application to the SBIR or SCTR programs, but even to investors or other potential collaborators. IP is absolutely critical, and it's one of the key issues or opportunities that exist, not only if you're at an academic institution, but certainly in the private sector. Definitely patents, trademarks, other relevant protections are all important to your business. And if you're out raising capital through investors, it is absolutely critical that you really understand the intellectual property landscape for your proposed solution, and if you can afford it, to maybe do a freedom to operate analysis. But this is important not only for domestic patent protection, but also maybe even global. IP is the lifeblood of any startup company, so really pay close attention to it. So I think one of the key things that, starting a company and all the different elements of, business and marketing, finance, IP, your customers, financial projections, all of those things are all important. But I really think you got to keep your focus on those requirements. And a business plan is important, and it doesn't have to be a 20-page document. It could be maybe a 5-page document, 10-page document. But, write down what your vision is and how you're going to realize that vision. And this will continually change over time, because as you learn and gain more information, have more discussions with people and so forth, the plan will change. And if it's not changing, then something's not right. So a big proponent of SBIR and STTR and actually, getting this funding to support your pathway from the lab to the marketplace. And so, you want to engage with any of the organizations in your state. And there are people in other states like me here in Minnesota that can be your advocate and support you in your efforts to secure SBIR and STTR funding. And all those organizations are funded through the Small Business Administration with additional support from their respective states. So take advantage of those organizations. They're very important. Now, the 3 agencies that really support SBIR and projects in the neuroscience space, of course, is the National Institutes of Health and the National Science Foundation and the Department of Defense. So both NIH and NSF are 2 granting agencies, whereas the Department of Defense is a contracting agency. So that makes it a little different, but the money is there, and if you can propose a project or address a need that maybe the DoD has, certainly, you want to look at those agencies as potential funding sources. So some of the resources that I think are grouped together, and there's a lot of resources. No matter where you are in the United States, you're going to have a lot of resources. But really look for those resources where they understand science. They understand raising capital, they understand IP. You really want to make sure that you're engaging with the right resources. So it's government, it's entrepreneurial support organizations, industry resources, and academic resources. You want to get involved in networking. And, every state and every, city has different networking opportunities. Get out there and mix with the other entrepreneurs. It's amazing what kind of relationships can be built through these networking events. Of course, if you have any business incubators or accelerators that you can take advantage of, I would strongly recommend that you do that. And if you don't get selected the first time, then you keep applying, but you get better at each application. Some of the best incubators are well known, I should say. Incubators are Techstars and Y Combinator, and there are certainly others. Now, if you're going to pursue raising capital through investors, just know that that's really hard work, and you really want to do your homework, and you want to recognize that sometimes you might be too early for investors. And that's fine. That's where SBIR and STTR funding is really helpful. It's kind of, if you're too early for investors, this is where America's seed capital is really important. There are some investment groups that are focused on women entrepreneurs only, so you definitely want to take advantage of that. And it's not for everyone, but if it's something that you need to build into your business, then definitely start early and be prepared. And make sure you have a really good, solid pitch deck, and you understand your market, you understand your customers, and you understand what your financial ask is to help start and grow your business. Professional associations, if you're in the neuroscience space, you're of course familiar with those that are applicable to your areas of research, but there might be other associations that you will want to take advantage of. Educational institutions and research centers, of course, there's a lot going on at our academic institutions across the country. So again, take advantage of these resources. Most of the time, they're either funded through federal or state funding, and it's just another tool in the toolbox for you. Now, I talked about I-Core, and this is really important. I think for any application that goes into NIH or NSF, the more that we can talk about having done customer discovery, it really goes a long way with the reviewers, in my opinion. But NIH has just recently announced this entrepreneurship bootcamp, which I think you have to apply for it and to be accepted. Again, the agencies and the SBIR and STTR programs are really focused on helping entrepreneurs not only with the research, but also on that commercialization pathway. And then NIH also offers an application assistance program, and this is only for phase 1, first-time applicants, and it's free. And again, you have to apply and be selected in order to take advantage of that program. And then, of course, take advantage of your state-based resources. Very important that you get connected and leverage those resources to support your business. And government resources, so we have the SBA, we have state, county, local government agencies and programs. Again, you want to make sure that they have an understanding of science and technology and a high-tech based kind of company, because not all of those resources are going to be applicable to you at this stage. The SBA pushes out a document called the Small Business Resource Guide, and they do reference SBIR and STTR in this document. But you want to look at it, see what else is available that you might be able to tap into, and this is updated annually. Now, SCORE is, used to be called the Service Corps of Retired Executives. I would do a search on SCORE to see if there's any one person or persons that might be able to provide you with mentorship. And it doesn't have to be in your local area. It could be anywhere across the country. And I would sign up for their listserv, because they're really doing an amazing job of pushing out different content and educational opportunities that might be applicable to you and as a business. And it's free. And I've actually attended a couple of SCORE sessions, and I've been impressed with not only their speakers, but the content. One organization that you might want to take a look at is Springboard Enterprises, and it's really focused on women entrepreneurs in the technology and life science space. And again, this is an application-oriented type of organization, but again, you want to get involved. You want to, spread your wings and get engaged with these other opportunities, no matter where you are in the United States and wherever they might be. Now, if you're a company thinks you get a technology or a product or service that eventually will make it into the federal government, then there's an organization called the Apex Accelerators, and these groups across the country are funded through federal funding and state funding to help companies navigate the process of selling their product or service to the federal government. And in some cases, they are also engaged with the state procurement offices. And you may even want to think about getting involved with academic procurement offices, because if you have a product or service that another academic institution could benefit from your product or service, then you definitely want to see them as a potential customer. So what are some takeaways here? I don't think there's a better time to be an entrepreneur. There are numerous resources and support for startups, starting at the federal level, the state level, and the regional and county levels. What you want to do is create a list of what's in your area that you can leverage and to keep it focused and keep it organized, because I can share with you that as an entrepreneur, you've got a lot of things that you're thinking about. And one of them shouldn't be, what are all the resources that are out there? And create a list, break it up by federal, state, county, and local, and so forth. And that will help keep things organized for you. Get connected with your local entrepreneurial resources and the other people that are in your space. Build those relationships along the journey. And then you don't know everything to be successful. And I know that that might be a little bold to say that, but you can't do it alone, and you shouldn't do it alone. You'll need other people to help you along the way, because when the times are not so bright, you really want to turn to some people that can uplift you and keep you moving forward. Develop a smart plan and execute. Really be thoughtful and strategic in everything that you do. And you don't have to try to do everything all in 1 year. Take the time, do your research, talk to other people, make decisions, and keep moving forward. And you're going to have to pivot. You might have to, certainly be resilient, but you'll have to pivot to adjust to changing activities that might exist or might be coming down the pipeline. Celebrate your small wins. You have to do that. It's just one way of keeping yourself motivated and focused. And I think starting and growing a startup is a journey. It is not a destination. And I even say that with the SBIR and the CTR programs. It's a journey. It's not a destination. I think being strong and tenacious. You have to develop that strategic mindset. Build your personal resilience to weather the ups and downs. You got to be persistent and tenacious in everything that you do. And get comfortable with no. Not everything's going to work out for you on the first time, or maybe even the second time, especially in the SBIR program. You just got to keep focused and keep going, and never give up. If you want to realize your dream and bring your innovation to life, you just really have to stay focused and never give up. Thank you. It's been a pleasure sharing with you my thoughts and perspectives about starting a neuroscience startup.